Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f yourself. But go f yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What's the matter? Take yourself a great big bite of meat. Taste the pleasure of the highest quality pork around.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
There is nobody of merit there. It's for their new fan base. That's who D23 is for. Everybody who went there knowing they sniff crotch and suck shit.
Oh, these two girls when you kiss are gonna be hot. Oh, yo, you know Elizabeth Hurley's gonna get butt naked in this.
People are not gonna enjoy that. They recast him. He's like 16 now, and he's got painted fingernails. And he's like, oh my god, let's cast his spell.
What? What? What?
Great Scott. You gotta watch it. You gotta hit the like button.
We've got to get it up for him, guys. Come on, everyone who's watching this video needs to go over
Don't say it like that.
And share the video. We gotta keep going.
Don't they have to get it up for me? Don't say it like that. God damn it. I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
Impressive. Most impressive.
But I also hate you a little because you go and make it your business to try to make fun or try to get in. Yes, exactly. Half-breed putting her crotch in my face.
Who is that? I don't know that person anymore. I don't have to deal with them at all anymore. They're I don't even think about
That's your best friend, your future boyfriend.
Oh, God, why would you do that to me?
Ah.
God, I'd rather have Dermy as my boyfriend than that little.
Oh, God.
Well, we're talking about people who have serious sexual orientation and gender identity problems. And I'm not talking, and when I say sexual orientation, I don't mean, a dude who likes a dude and a chick who likes a chick. We're talking about people who think that they're non-binary and they don't know how to play with their holes and shit like that.
Oh,
so,
Jesus Christ.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
Who writes someone that's a genius and that everybody is over there sucking her toes, and then you got to come over here and then say something ridiculous like, hey, victimize me, daddy.
I will twerk on her on the bed. I ain't going to do it in the middle of the dance floor.
That's what I'm... Yeah, whatever.
That's all right.
Why? My brain didn't need that. I'd already seen too many pictures of Shooty today.
What?
Well, there's an image in my mind.
I'm going to make the chattest possible, the most masculine, big deed, bulge out to the world, shoulders, muscles, maybe not bulge out to the world. You know what I mean, though? He's going to be out there. He's going to go out to Fettis, and he's going to slay as much puss as possible.
Hey, my name is a pimp named Dries, and I believe I've misplaced some merchandise at this residence. Lord Jesus and the shepherds, where is daddy's money? I will not hesitate for one solitary second to put hands on somebody if I don't have my monies.
But we're told that we don't like any of this because we're misogynists. We just don't like this stuff because we're women. And the only reason we're unhappy about the Ray movie coming out, because, guys, did you hear the Ray movie was canceled and uncanceled? Did you hear that?
Dre, you heard that too, right?
I did hear it.
Wait,
I did hear it.
What did I do?
You said because we're women.
We hate it because we're women.
Okay. All right. Yeah, see, now Ariel just arrived, and she's going to make sure that I remember that.
Yes, we didn't want it to come out like this, but Adam is in fact trans. He's coming out of the closet. Him and Dermy are in a relationship. It's time.
It's still there.
I didn't say that.
Well, you can still have it, but still identify as a woman.
He's a she. He's a she. He's a she.
but we don't want Revan touched. No.
Agreed.
You don't want anything good touched.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah, because Disney Star Wars is a bad touch.
It is a bad touch.
Touches you in the bad place.
It's a bad touch.
Show me on the doll where Disney Star Wars touched you.
I need a bigger doll.
Oh God.
There's no doll left.
I'm gonna tell you, if I'm gonna tell you a story and the end result is gonna be me taking a dump on somebody's forehead, do you care about how we got there?
Don't try to razzle dazzle me.
We want to enjoy what we're looking at. We don't want sores and fat whores.
Liar! No.
Let me be as clear as I can. Ain't no colors in Scandinavia.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It has shown us one thing. The fake fans, the stands, they show up. They showed up for all of these. But they're not an audience.
Nope.
They're a bunch of weirdos hanging out in a parking lot watching each other do weird shit.
Oh God.
I don't know where I come up with these. They just happen.
Are you out there watching them watch them?
I can hear them from where I am. That's the
a lot of squelching.
Yeah. Listen, at least I don't have to clean it up. That's good.
Tell him about the Twinkie.
What about the Twinkie?
Like, I wanted to dive into her deep pool and swim around in her labia.
You know how much I love Snorlax? I'm gonna prove it to you. These are my slippers. All right, Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap who knows. I'm a grown man and I'm rocking Snorlax slippers. I don't give a crap.
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality boobs. You want to motorboat quality boobs.
There we go. All better now. Man, titties are the greatest things on earth.
I have no shame. I say it every week. I have no shame. Welcome to the round table. It's only two of us for the moment. Dre is running late today, and Dragon Lady's dealing with family fun stuff, so we wish her the best. One of the greatest things in the world is when I catch Dre off guard. The Dre expression of "what did he just say" is one of the greatest things on the internet for me. Because it's a small little joy I have in life, and I have so few nice things. Can I just have that? Surprise, Dre. Anyway, welcome to the round table, everybody, where we give you our unique perspective on the week's events. We are happy to have you all here on this Sunday afternoon, where we know there's not a lot going on. Some shows have been canceled here and there. People are doing stuff, a lot of electioneering stuff going on. People getting ready for big stuff going on in New York today. But before that, we hope to entertain you for a couple of hours. Jed, how are you this afternoon?
Oh, I'm doing great. It takes so long to get into the show that I get a time to figure out what my intro is going to be, but then I start laughing so much that I can't actually do that. So every time I'm like, all right, I'm not going to pay attention this time. I'm going to think of a good intro, a snappy thing to say, and then Pip named Dreezy comes out and I'm just done for. But it's such a long intro that I should be able to slip it in somewhere, and I never managed to do it. It's getting low.
It's 6.5 minutes now. It's 6.5 minutes,
Wow.
and I take things out and I rearrange stuff so that maybe you might expect something where it is. It's not where it was before.
Yep.
And listen, I do it. People ask me sometimes, why do you do this, Adam? I do it because being a small show, not always people are lining up when we start. They wait for the notification to come out and then, oh shit, it's time. I'm going to get in there. It's so people have a chance to roll in, and so that they don't miss the intro stuff when we're actually live and doing things, because I want to make sure that everybody gets the full experience. It's just that simple. And because for those who are maybe new coming in, you need to understand that we're weird, and that between
the intro accomplishes that.
And between the three of us, and that, that's only literally this year, maybe a little bit into last year, before I started actually paying attention to some of the weird shit that we say. You got to understand that while we do censor ourselves sometimes, there are times where there is no filter. And especially I will say things just to say it with no shame, because I'm just trying to entertain you guys. So I want you to understand this is what we do here. We have fun. We are, here to mock things, and we're here to also mock each other. Is that also we understand we are massively retarded. We are not normal. We are weird, and we are
Speak for
nerds.
yourself.
Hey, shut up, Ginger Jesus. So we want you to know that this is what goes on here, and we get new people all the time. At least I think we do. YouTube's taken away subs lately, so I don't know. I have no idea, but we want you guys to understand this. Listen. The Ball Busters one. That's I'm not in charge of that. Although I do sometimes provide the clips. I am behind on a few. Gal's been sending me stuff that I need to clip out and save that I have been forgetting. So I need to go back and get some things because, listen, I'm the one that does it. Some of the best clips in there, they're made by me. Some of the worst, weirdest ones. I'm the one that goes back and makes them because I just do it so that we remember that Dermy is the ultimate tard. I mean, we're retarded, but he is King Back Taco Tard. That is the thing. But welcome one and all. We're happy to have you guys here. We got an interesting show for you today. I'm happy with this show because some of it's in my wheelhouse. Some of it's in our collective wheelhouse. And some of it is stuff we're continuing to follow up on that's surprising to me people aren't talking about. Now, of course, there are bigger things going on in the world right now. So, of course, they're not talking about some of this stuff. But I'm surprised in our sphere, people are not paying attention to these things because it's interesting, especially people who understand the nuts and bolts of certain individuals being involved in it. So we're going to follow up on that kind of stuff. We got stuff you've heard about this week already, but we're going to get into it because we like to talk about it. The Ray movie is stumbling. That is a big hiccup that happened this week. And it is kind of funny with especially Daisy Ridley's comments just the day before. So that's funny. We're going to talk about the fact that the MCU maybe not in such a great place. Blade canceled. We'll try and hold that one off till Dre comes back in because we did tease that last night while he was on Drive-In. Jay joined us for Drive-In last night watching Blade. It was a good one. We had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Check that out.
A lot of fun.
So we're going to talk a little MCU, little Blade. Then we are going to continue with the story that the God of War TV series is shaping up to possibly be good. I know.
Possibly. Even just that little caveat is shocking to me.
There is that small sliver of hope right now that I'm actually interested. I'm actually interested at this point. And then we've got what I consider our discussion topic for the afternoon towards the end. Disney has announced they're beginning a big AI initiative in terms of what they're doing. And the stands are not happy about it. They're not happy about it. They are, in fact, crying very hard when, in fact... Go ahead.
Oh, what? Disney makes a bad decision?
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I'm right there with the stands. This is mind-blowing information. This has never happened before. We must let Disney know that we don't like what they're doing in this one instance so that they can go back to what they normally do, which is amazing.
And that's part of the discussion. These hypocrites have made Disney bend the knee on everything and force them down the path where now they have to consider doing AI work to save money, to be pioneers in the field so they can maybe once again be Disney like of old, where they revolutionize something and actually make a good product. So we're going to talk about that towards the end. But before that, of course, we have to say hi to the chat, the great chat who supports us in all these good ways. Hail and howdy to the chat. Hail to the goddess and Algram, my mods here to keep the peace. One loves me and one likes to make fun of me. I live with it. It's my life.
You keep saying that. Which is which? Because
the goddess likes to make my life miserable. And okay. Algram, he loves me. He praises me. He supports me. He's my boy. But the goddess will take every turn possible to remind everybody that I'm a retard and a boomer.
Yeah, but that's out of love. That's how Legato shows love. So I think they both love you.
No, I don't like that kind of love. I like meat and potatoes love. I'm gonna clip that later.
That's pretty gay. Yeah.
See, I'm
meat love.
I'm gonna put it together. So right after I say that, then you'll say that. Hey, it's wonderful. Right early on, 14 minutes in, we're off to a great start here. So hail to Algram and my goddess. Well, I thank you both as always. You do this out of your generosity of your time, so I always appreciate you. Good afternoon, Kale. How are you? Hail to you, Ruben X. Huzzah, son of Joxer. Hail, Jay Fraser. Welcome. Hail, Masquerade. How are you doing, my friend? Hail, Kaylee Scope, who's enjoying watching me play Starship Troopers right now. We're doing that tonight. Play some more Starship Troopers tonight. We're having a good time with that one. It's a lot of fun. Hail, Third Eye 47. Yeah, the South Park episode. Making it lamer, making it gayer. And anybody else who is just watching and not chatting, we understand. You're just chilling out. We're happy to have you here. Hit that like button. Let's get started. Okay. Our Sunday privilege is that sometimes we get to talk box office before the bigger shows, the bigger channels do, because this is when we get essentially the full weekend box office. It's a Monday prediction or a Sunday prediction, but it's essentially usually accurate. And we have been sort of making fun of this a little bit here and there. The third Venom movie, I only watched the first one once. When I saw what they were going to do for the second one, I said, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yet these movies generally somehow make money. They somehow generally do. One, because
to a certain extent,
they keep the budgets really low on these movies. The budgets are really low. First one was like 80 million or something like that. Second one wasn't much larger. And this one too does have a small budget. But I think at this point, even though I am hearing some people are liking it as popcorn flick, this one has not gained traction in August. Here we are on its $110 million budget that we know of. I'm sure there's some marketing on there, probably closer to 150. It's worldwide only 175. Needs about, I would say, 300 million to break even. It might break even. It might break even.
This is a pretty decent opening weekend for a budget of that level. Like, I think, it'll probably be break even in the first month and then make a little bit of profit as it's dwindling out of theaters, and then all the hard physical releases will just be raking in the money. So I don't know. This is better than I expected, honestly. I thought this would do a little bit worse, more around 100, 150. But people do enjoy these films. They are dumb, but they're very fun. The critics, of course, hated it. If you've seen the Rotten Tomatoes score, it was like 30%, but the audience loved it. So there's some varying reports I've seen. 99% of people's like, yeah, it's fun. I saw one person claim it's the greatest comic book film of all time. So that person's huffing farts. But yeah, this isn't as bad as it could be.
No.
But.
Well, actually it is, because the other two movies made both, I think, over $700 million in total.
Did the second one? I thought the second one didn't do amazing.
Look it up real quick. Well, because I'd have to lose the screen. Do it. But I mean, the first one made over $800 million. And the second one, I still think, made some money. This doesn't look like it's going to make money. It may be being well received by those who enjoy this, but I don't think it's going to come near the levels of the other two, especially with a start like this. And I just don't think, and also from what I'm hearing, the way the movie was, I've read some of the details of the movie, because of course I'm not going to watch it. I don't know. They continue their non-comic accurate stuff. They fudge things, and also by introducing, and this is no spoiler because you saw it in the trailer, introducing the concept of null into all of this without any other sort of cohesive.
Yeah, I don't know how that can fit in this type of Venom universe where it's very grounded.
Yeah, and the whole and this Venom verse, or this non-Spider-Man Spider-Verse, it all doesn't work because there is no Spider-Man involved in any of this.
Yeah, there's no connective tissue. So for Venom 2, it had a budget of 110 million and made 500 million. So it definitely made profit.
A little bit of profit,
yeah.
But I think this will barely break even. That's what I feel, because there's no enthusiasm for this at all.
The marketing's been really bad. The only thing that kind of got into the general zeitgeist was when the first trailer released and we got Venom Horse. People were talking about Venom Horse for 5 minutes, and that's virtually it. A lot of people didn't even know it was coming out. Dre, a massive comic book fan, last night, after Saturday Night Drive-In, we told him it was coming out, and he had no idea that Venom 3 was coming out this weekend. It's just not as in the zeitgeist as it should be. Maybe that's, the election coming up. Everyone's hyper focused on that, like you mentioned, but it's got to be something else too. Why it's just not drawing the type of attention that you'd expect.
Yeah. I mean, the most I ever talked about it is on a couple different streams where we made fun of their Pizza Hut marketing ad, where there is Venom drizzle all over everything and it looked nasty. So, I mean, there is no, I guess I'll repeat myself. There's no enthusiasm for this. There's no excitement for this. I mean, even people that I saw who liked it, they're not saying go see this. They're saying, yeah, it was okay. I mean, And I doubt they're going to purchase it. I doubt they're going to add it to their physical media collections. I doubt this is going to move the needle. So right now, I'm kind of glad it's over because I never want to hear about this again.
Well, it's the last film. Tom Hardy has talked about he's more than willing to come in a crossover film of some kind or whatnot, revisit the role, but the trilogy's over.
They announced Spider-Man 4 this week for the MCU. They did announce that this week, 2026. And I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about that either. I'm a little worried. I love Tom Holland's comments. I do have to say he has matured a lot in the last few years. These interviews with him have been great, well articulated.
Well, he's sober now is the thing. He's sober now.
That might make a lot of difference. I mean, his decision to make an alcohol-free beer company with Zendaya, I don't think is a great marketing idea, great business plan. But some people might enjoy that. I don't get it. I don't get why you would drink non-alcoholic beer, but his interviews I really love because he talks about my initial contract is over, so I get to accept or decline scripts and the renewing the contract at each individual film. And so he starts to think, he mentions, I need to think now more than ever about how does this serve the character? Is this good for the character? Is this good for the fans? Not talking about himself. He said, I'm good money-wise. I do not need this money.
No, he doesn't.
And I don't want to make this just for the studio, just for the sake of making a film. I want to think about two things. Is this right for the character? Is this right for the audience? And that is a perspective that is so rare in Hollywood that I really have to respect him for, honestly, that he's saying it. It might not be true. It might be a genius marketing plan on his account, but at least he's trying. And I don't see many other people doing that.
And Spider-Man 4, MCU Spider-Man 4, has an opportunity to finally give him a chance to actually be Peter Parker and be Spider-Man, because I'm going to throw the term out that a lot of people use. He's been Iron Boy most of the time. He hasn't had a chance to be Peter Parker because they've tried to do too much MCUing of it. He has a chance to be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He has a chance to do to stay in New York, not globetrot, not require other cameos from other stuff. If they make the Spider-Man 4 movie and they really make it a Spider-Man movie, it could be really good. Especially because, they've jettisoned, and I know he is the real life partner of Zendaya. They've jettisoned her. She is not a character anymore because of the events of No Way Home.
They'll probably bring her back, though, undo it somehow. I hope they don't, but just stick him in that suit from the end of No Way Home. That suit is
the real
beautiful.
Suit. The real
suit. Keep him there and kind of not necessarily divorce him from the MCU, but it can be kind of like the Netflix shows or
don't connect it.
Exactly, where it's just it's there. It can cohesively work inside the universe, but it doesn't need to feel part of the universe. It can be its own thing.
Now, I have said this, and this is a controversial take. Maybe it's because Spider-Man is my favorite hero. I think Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery is better than Batman's Rogues Gallery. At the very least, people want. I know you don't like it when I say that. No, most people don't. But that's because I like Spider-Man more than Batman, and I really like those villains more. But at the very least, you will agree it is as densely populated as Batman's Rogue Gallery. Spider-Man compared to Batman, they are the two most populous Rogues Gallery
Absolutely.
villains. And
they're all iconic.
Yeah, there is a lot to choose from where you don't have to go back to Green Goblin. You don't have to, even though I would love a real Spider-Man Venom movie, you don't have to do that. Give me a Spider-Man movie where tap into some of his great Rogues Galleries.
We've never really seen the Scorpion on screen, at least to a good extent. There's the cameo of him at the end credit scene of Homecoming, but still,
I mean,
so that one good.
There's so many ones they can do. So
that they've never touched before.
Yeah, and don't do it just to lead into like the Sinister Six or something like that. Give me a good story, and it could be a couple of teams because that's kind of Spider-Man's thing. Sometimes he gets involved with these rogues, and it's only him. He's the only one that deals with these guys. He has to do it by himself. Don't give me a lead into Miles Morales.
No.
God help us. That movie will be instant trash if they're leading into Miles Morales. Just don't do it.
We need to see Peter Parker, just like you said.
Yeah.
You can introduce a sidekick or someone to carry the torch years later once we get the character for real for an extended period of time. We've never really got him standing on his own like you're talking about. So in Spider-Man 7, maybe you can start thinking about a Miles Morales if it's done right, obviously.
Never.
I prefer never, but you at least need to give us some real Spider-Man on his own for a while so we get that. It's like you don't jump to Batman Beyond. You don't jump to what is it? The Dark Knight Returns. You don't jump to that type of stuff. Looking at you, Zack Snyder, you start with more year 2, year 10 Batman, and then eventually you can get to that point 10 years down the road. We need some good actual Spider-Man before we think about expanding his actual team.
And it would be good to use Kingpin because then you get an acceptable pairing up of Spider-Man and Daredevil, and Charlie Cox is already a great Daredevil. So you already can do that. And they already introduced Charlie Cox as Daredevil in No Way Home. So they're there. We know they coexist at the same time in the MCU. So there are roads to that. Now, will they do that? I don't know about that. We don't know what this we don't know how this Daredevil show coming up is really going to be.
I have no faith in it personally.
Well, I'm not a Daredevil fan, so I really don't have much of a horse in the race. I've never been a big fan of Daredevil. I know a lot of people love it. It's just not. He's not the thing I enjoy. But
all I know is the Netflix show. I love the Netflix show, but that's my only experience with the character.
Yeah. Now, I mean, as with Spider-Man, I mean, man, they do a great Craven story. But unfortunately, we have a problem. Sony's got their Craven movie coming out,
and it's gonna be garbage.
That's still happening.
I can't.
Don't forget about Venom. Yeah, don't forget the Craven movie is still coming out. I think it's coming out next month.
November, December. I think it's December, but
yeah. Oh, you know what? It is December. I remember. You're right. It's December because Sony said we want people to go see this over and over again on Christmas.
Why would you go see Craven for Christmas?
That was the question I think we asked when we first heard that. So you can't do Craven because they're already butchering a Craven live action. I see Hobgoblin. I mean, Hobgoblin will be cool. You can't do Morbius because you butchered that shit.
You could do Mr. Negative, but that was from the game. So
yeah,
I'd wait on that one.
You can't do. I mean, you'd have to go. Here's the problem: they've already exhausted some of the A tier, S tier villains. You'd have to go B tier on Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery, but you could pair them up and give so, or and you could bring in. Of course, I'd love to see some Black Cat.
We definitely need some Black Cat, especially with MJ being out of the picture.
It would be the perfect opportunity to introduce Black Cat because it's because Peter.
And don't make her gay.
Oh yeah. Don't make Spider-Man video game 2. We're looking at you. They made her gay by the end of that. That was so. And that Black Cat was a good model, dude. She was actually the one hot character in the entire game. Is Black Cat, Felicia Hardy.
Yeah,
it was hot, but. I mean, but with Felicia Hardy, Peter gets together with her when he's off with other major flames, like when he's not involved with MJ or something like that. That's when he ends up with Felicia. So this could be a perfect opportunity to have a Peter fling with Felicia Hardy. Now, of course, I think we all agree a great cast for Felicia Hardy would be. I just forgot her name.
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. Thank you. You know what, Jen? You know what popped in my brain? Her current picture from the Boxer movie, and it threw me off.
Oh yeah,
that threw me off right now.
It's like a weird looking picture.
Yes, that's what made me brain fart. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney would be an outstanding Black Cat. She can do the choreography, she can do the physical stuff, and she looks like Felicia Hardy, literally.
She's got enough people thirsting for her too. That's perfect. I mean, you kind of add that to the character. So
when they showed her as like one of the Spider Women from Madam Web,
I keep forgetting she was in that.
When they actually showed her the clip of her in the Spider-Man outfit, you could see that's exactly what Felicia Hardy's Black Cat outfit would look like. So she has that's an easy win.
It just might be difficult to convince her to come back after her bad experience with Madam Web.
Hey, listen, there's a whole dump truck of money out there that would get her to do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely would.
But Spider-Man 4 will work, but they have to get certain things right. And
I'm kind of glad John Watts isn't coming back for that. He's doing, I think, Fantastic Four instead, which I don't have hopes for.
Listen,
he's doing another project. It might not be that one, but he is still involved at Marvel.
I mean, we could tease a little Marvel discussion here. This is 2026 now. The Spider movie is 2026. There's a lot they're trying to fit in now in this small thing. I mean, if you're putting that in, that's right around. It has to release before Doomsday. It has to.
Well, what I'm hoping out of this is Sony is trying to divorce him from the MCU. So they're not caring about going in competition with Disney. They've established their character. They've got what they wanted out of the MCU. And now they can go do their own thing. Hopefully not, introducing all their terrible standalone films into the same universe with him. Because we don't need Madam Web and Tom Holland working together or anything like that. But I hope that means Sony's doing its own thing, because Spider-Man has a chance to be good if they get the right people. A better chance than a Disney, at least.
Yeah. So it has a chance, but I don't trust at all. And that's the thing. I said it before. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. Yeah, Adam the Arachnophobe loves Spider-Man. It's a really weird thing, I know, but I can't explain it. I love the stories. I love the character. I love it all. And I'm pretty much happy knowing that I'm not happy. I'm content and satisfied knowing I'm never going to be pleased. I've kind of accepted that fact. I would just like to be entertained. And I haven't been entertained for a long time. So I don't expect it to be. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Jay Fraser, you're absolutely correct. I forgot about that. The project I was thinking about with John Watts was Skeleton Crew. He's majorly involved in Skeleton Crew. And we upgraded from John Watts to the director of Shang-Chi for Spider-Man. That's going to be bad. That's going to be so bad. I forgot about that. Yeah. I do not like that whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, so you mentioned Skeleton Crew, so we might as well talk some Disney Star Wars. We might as well do that because hey, I always like talking to Star Wars. Hold on 1 second, we see this. Oh, okay, that's fine. I always like talking Disney Star Wars because Disney Star Wars is a disaster. And you mentioned Skeleton Crew. Before we get to Skeleton Crew, I do want to bring up the fact that we have a Rey Palpatine movie update. I know everybody's heard about it by now, but I haven't talked about it yet. So Daisy Ridley came out about a week ago with just it was a single line from an interview. We're going to have an exciting update on the Rey movie real soon. Big news. And I saw that and that was one of those days where I was just grasping for a video content. And I thought I can maybe turn this into something, but then something else came up and said, okay, fine. I'm not going to try and stretch a nothing statement into essentially a nothing video. It wasn't worth my time. Well, it's worth our time now because Daisy Ridley says, expect an update. And then literally 2 or 3 days later, we get the announcement that they've lost their screenwriter. They've lost the screenwriter for the Rey movie. And it normally it'd be like, okay, fine. Disney just lost some other loser that probably couldn't do it. No, they actually lost somebody who's successful right now.
Yeah.
Stephen Knight.
I mean, they do that all the time. Everyone who's involved in Disney gets fired at one point or another, and the 10th option is the one who carries it over the finish line. So I'm not surprised by this at all.
I don't think this was a firing. Honestly, Stephen Knight, the guy who made Peaky Blinders.
Or left, firing or left.
Yeah, I think he left. Now, Jed, have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Oh, yeah, I love Peaky Blinders. The last couple seasons kind of were disjointed, didn't really know where they were going, but they're supposedly starting work on the movie to wrap things up soon. So I hope that's where he's going because the movie does need to do a lot of work to wrap up the bizarre storylines that haven't gone anywhere for a couple seasons.
Okay. See, now I've never seen it, but I know of it. I know it has a very happy fan base most of the point. You guys enjoy it, but it's a good show. Critically acclaimed, everyone likes it. I mean, you say disjointed, but that's more that's not hating it. That's just I don't like what they did at the end. Yeah,
it gets less about gangs because that's what it's about is a Peaky Blinders gang in Birmingham, and it's a lot of gang warfare and stuff like that. But in the final 2 seasons, the main character decides to be a politician on the socialist ticket to fight communists. You're like, what the hell just happened?
Okay, that is kind of weird.
Or excuse me, fascists.
Fascists. Yeah, well, guess what? They're all the same thing. So that is kind of weird. But point being, he is still a successful writer. He has a lot of juice. He can kind of do a little bit of what he wants. So when they hired him, it's like, oh, they have an actual real person working on this, as opposed to Sharmito Bay Chinoy. We like to call her Chins. She is a documentarian. It's the nicest thing we can say. She's not a real director. She don't know what she's doing.
And yeah, it's not like she's a pop culture documentarian. Like she didn't do the Vince McMahon documentary that people really liked that just came out. She's doing political documentaries. They're completely unrelated in every way, shape, and form. Very politically leaning. Documentaries, I think, should be neutral. Just show you the facts. They can do a narrative and whatnot, but really just try to present the information to you as unbiased as possible. I don't think she's familiar with the term unbiased.
No, she's not. She's very Whammons. We'll just say that. I'm trying to be nice here, not too graphic. She's a Whammon. So now before Night came in, you can see here they fired Damon Lindelof. That goddamn piece of shit. He is that guy is a pox on television writing and movie writing. That guy is horrible. And some other dude called Justin Britt Gibson. I don't know who that is, but they fired them. They fired Lindelof. And then they brought in Stephen Knight. And now Stephen Knight has walked away. I think he walked away because he was announced, a year ago, or at least end of last year, maybe beginning of this year, somewhere around there. I think, and this is my opinion, I have no evidence, it's just pure thought and logic. I think that 2 things happened. One, Disney started to give notes. I think Lucasfilm started giving notes on, we want you to do this, we want you to do that. And this is a dude who's been in charge of his own projects for a while now. And he's like, wait a minute, some twink in a suit, or let's insert some British slur word that I'm sure he probably used, is telling me how to write my story. Go F yourself. And at the same time, I guarantee that anything he's tried to do to work with Chins has been a disaster because she's not a real director. So anytime he says, okay, so I'm thinking of doing this, doing that, what's your input on this? And she probably rambles on about feminism or some shit like that. And so I bet after 6 or 7 months of this, maybe 5 months, I don't know, he's probably fed up and said, I'm going to go work on my Peaky Blinders movie now. Fuckity bye.
Yep.
That's what I think happened. And now you can see right here, it is going to be delayed until probably 2027. So I'm going to ask you this, Jed, do you think this movie happens?
I think it's going to be put in the same status as the Rian Johnson trilogy. Just kind of, oh yeah, it's still on the books, but no release date, and just be in that status forever. I think that's 100% how it's going to go. They're going to pretend like, yeah, we're still working things out, but it's still coming out. Act like it's not a failure, like it truly is, just like the Rian Johnson trilogy. They're not going to outright cancel it. I don't think they can't come out and say, hey, the first thing we've done since the sequel trilogy, continuing these characters, has been canceled. They can't come out and say that. So I think they're going to go into an indeterminate status.
I'm 50-50. I think they're too invested to not do this. I think they put too many. I think rolling out Chins, giving her so much front time, rolling out Daisy Ridley so much. And I'm not going to take shots at Daisy Ridley because she doesn't behave like a weirdo. She just gets asked a question.
Yeah, I have nothing against Daisy Ridley.
I have thing against her stands. They're weirdos. They are massive weirdos. But Daisy Ridley, she's just doing her job. She's getting a paycheck. But still, they've rolled her out. They've rolled out Chins. They've spent a lot of time talking about this. This is the next part of advancing the sequel trilogy. They're both and this is now where I go the other side. I don't think they want to do it. I think they're too invested, but I don't think they want to because they know the numbers. They know all their numbers and all their Disney Star Wars shit. They know this isn't striking any sort of real chord with anybody. But I mean, nobody outside of weirdos want this. But even the weirdos, I got a couple things here, and these are some of the remaining tards who haven't blocked me yet. Some of the bigger stands on X Twitter, but I keep trying. Every day I try. If you follow me on X Twitter, you know I go in little shotgun bursts of, okay, let's see if I can get this done today, and then I go dormant for a day or two. But this guy right here, this guy is one of my. I hate this. This guy's a complete piece of shit. They announced this. Here's his response. George Lucas went out to the desert with a vision and no real expectation that Star Wars would be anything other than a flop. Disney have lost sight of that, and they're hand-wringing in boardrooms, totally timid and afraid to take the risk. Be wild, be weird, be artist, C-word. Okay, so this guy is a complete and total stan who he loves the Acolyte, all these things. I always find it amusing how, and we're going to get into this later with the Disney AI stuff, they're complaining about Disney not taking risks. Everything Disney has done to get them into the Disney Star Wars shit pile they now swim in was because of people like this. Am I wrong?
No, it's 100% their own fault that Disney's continuing to make this crap. And Disney, none of these projects are taking risks. These aren't risks, at least from Disney's perspective. Yeah, they're failures, but they're not trying anything new. They're just trying to recycle the same formula, doing cameos. And from their perspective, those aren't considered risks. But people like Nude Gunray, which is not an image I needed in my head whatsoever, has been lapping up this stuff for years, I assume, and fueling Disney continuing to make this garbage. So if you actually wanted them to take risks, to be wild, be weird, be artists, you wouldn't be supporting the same formulaic, empty crap that they've been dishing out to you for years at this point. You'd be at least trying, like, I know you don't like Andor. I haven't seen it, so I have no opinion on it. But from what I understand, it's at least different. So you would be...
It was serious, is what it was. It was serious.
Which is very different from the normal Disney Plus, Disney Star Wars content. But you'd be pushing for that way more than all this other crap out there. So, yeah, this is hypocrisy of the highest level. This guy needs some self-reflection. All these stands need some self-reflection. Like with the AI stuff, just now you're realizing that Disney makes dumb decisions. You need to look in the mirror. You've been facilitating these dumb decisions. You've been making them look at social media and see all this positive response to Disney Star Wars material, and that's a metric that they look at. What was that one where I think, was it The Acolyte? It was some Disney Star Wars show a couple like last year that was parodied. Was it Ahsoka? It was like, oh God, it's so amazing. Look, this one statistic said it had a lot of online engagement. They look at a lot of online. It was Ahsoka. Yeah. Online engagement is an important metric for Disney. It shouldn't be the most important, but I do agree it is one that should be taken into consideration. And him and people like him have been fueling that positive, false sense of positive engagement for years, making them think, hey, maybe this time when we give the Twitter people, these stands, what they want, it'll actually get traction. But they keep making the same mistakes over and over again because Newt Gunray and people like him trick Disney into thinking that there's an audience for this.
But they gave them everything they wanted. The Acolyte, they gave them the ultimate stan experience. And hang on, let me bring this down because I forgot that I wanted to show this. They gave them the ultimate stan experience. You know, the petition closed. Jed, did you know that?
I did not know that. They gave up.
They shut it down. And no, it is still going. I'm sorry.
Has it reached 84 yet?
No, in fact, they took away 2,000 votes. They took away 2,000 signatures. It was almost
did they catch some fraud in there? Maybe some duplicate people.
I thought it had ended because I went back the other day and it said it had been adjusted for verifications, and I thought, oh, it's done. But no, apparently it's still going. They took away 2,000, but that 80,000, that is the stand base. That literally is the stand base. That's all of them.
That's not enough to fund any of these projects. A $200 million show can't exist on 100,000 viewers. You might be able to get away with the show with, I don't know, a $1 million budget with an audience that small. Maybe.
Not even. I mean, great comparison. When I was talking about this on Friday, and Gary dropped a video, a Star Wars video of all things, he had, after 2 hours, over 100,000. Drinker, couple 100,000 in a couple hours on his video on something he dropped that afternoon. YouTubers get more views, get more interaction than Disney Star Wars because they have actual people interested in what they're doing. So we go back here. So this is, like I said, this is complete hypocrisy. They gave them everything they want, and this is where they are. They do not see that, and they think taking a risk is continuing with the sequel trilogy. They think that's a risk. Well, it is a risk, actually, because it makes no money. Disney knows. We got Mando Grogu movie coming out because that wrapped filming this week. Mando Grogu wrapped filming this week.
So excited.
I guarantee that movie has a minimum real budget of $300 million. I guarantee. Because that thing's going into post now for the next year. It's now going to post for a year. CGI heavy. Marketing is going to be retardedly stupid. Mandalorian Grogu will not make more than $400 to $500 million. You know why?
I think that's a little generous.
Well, I'm trying to understand that there'll be a surge in the beginning and then it'll fall off really fast. But the problem is people like this, and I don't have those tweets anymore because they're from ages and ages ago. They're actually angry at Dave Filoni Mandoverse because to them, they're pandering with this stuff. Why do they keep focusing on this? Because you sucked their dick for so long with it. That's why. You praised Dave Filoni for so long. You let him do everything. You thought he was great. That's why they're doing it. They're not even interested in that shit anymore. We got another one here. Salacious Dumpkin. I added this one on because we talk about Skeleton Crew coming up. In addition to the Rey movie, the state of Disney Star Wars. This is what they care about. This Ortorlan juvenile.
I'm just going to say it. It's super fucking creepy, their interest in this kid. Like, it's full on disgusting behavior, constantly tweeting about this kid. I don't know if it's a girl or boy. I can't tell.
It's a boy. I've heard the voice over.
Okay, it's a boy.
It's male.
But like, calm down, people. It is a child. It's the whole thing with projection that they always do. Always act like it's going to be, we're going to attack this kid, so protect this kid. No, this kid needs to be protected from weirdos like you. That's where the protection needs to come in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These are the people who are the real photos, like the Dermy photo I keep up during Ball Busters. Those are the people who really need those photos circulated around schools. And thing is also, this Ortorlan, it's not even an accurate Ortorlan. First of all, they're not that big, and they don't have hair.
Yeah, the hair looks really weird.
They can't speak basic. Their vocal cords do not produce basic. But he's going to speak clear basic. And also the eyes are wrong. Everything is wrong about this. But they see this cutesy thing that they have a weird obsession about. And they think Skeleton Crew, protect the kids. You mentioned it. It's strange. But this is Disney Star Wars. You have the people who are calling out, oh my God, Rey movie. Then, oh my God, Skeleton Crew. It's childish adults. Made for childish adults. Loved by childish adults. This show's supposed to be for kids? No, it's for childish adults who...
90% of the audience will be childless adults.
Yeah. Childless adults? That's good. That works too. That works too. Childish. They're the same. And listen, I'm on the record saying, I'm going to say it again. Skeleton Crew is not going to be Acolyte level disaster because it's not going out there to do the same thing Acolyte did.
Yeah. It's not marketed to that degree.
It's just going to be stupid and retarded. Hell,
Where does it take place? When's
Mandoverse.
And so during that era?
Yeah. I saw a theory last night they're saying that Jude Law's character might be one of Luke's first apprentices that didn't hack it and left. And I sorry, I said Luke. I meant Jake, because this is
Jake,
Jake Skywalker. Yeah. Why does it have hair? Why does it have hair? I don't know. Because the weirdos like to do GIFs or images where they're petting his head. I've seen that. I've gotten blocked by one of them when I made fun of him for it.
Ew.
Yeah, the look on your face says it all. Look on your face.
Yeah, these are full-on PDF files getting their kicks.
Yeah. Protect the kids for that. Listen, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. If I criticize the child actors for bad performances, I'm allowed to do that. I'm saying
it's always been acceptable to do that. There's a whole a stereotype about bad child actors from the last 50 years. Normally, child actors are really bad, and you can call them out for that. Eventually, they might grow up into good actors, but it's never been a wrong or creepy or a bad thing to say, yeah, that child actor, no idea what he's doing. There's going to be exceptions like Home Alone. There's going to be some good child actors.
There's always a great child actor out there. I mean, to go back to it, since she's in the news lately, like Lindsay Lohan, when she appeared in The Parent Trap, was great. And frankly, I like the remake better than the original. I thought she did a better job than Haley Mills did back in the day. You no one could be like Shirley Temple way back in the day. You can't have those are once in a lifetime prodigy, stuff like that. But nobody is going into this Skeleton Crew or any of these projects. We're not going into it to actively rip on people. We're going into it to be critics, reviewers, analysts sometimes. If any actress or actor, despite their age, does a bad job, I'm going to say it. If Amandla Stenberg walks out with no emotion and does a horrible job, I'm allowed to say that. And then I'm allowed to keep going when she makes it worse and calls us all racists for saying she's a bad actress. I'm allowed to go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, according to these people, the only people you can criticize for their acting are adult straight white men.
Yeah.
Those are the rules.
Yeah, and listen, I might end up criticizing Jude Law for whatever he does in this upcoming show.
Oh, he does not give a shit. He's gonna phone it in.
Well, know what the people think. I mean, we didn't touch on this, but I heard it talked about this week. Carrie-Anne Moss did an interview the other day, or released, where somebody asked her about the Acolyte, and now we can go back in time. We all said she phoned it the fuck in on Acolyte. She phoned that performance in. Clearly didn't give a shit. And then in an interview, she basically said, "Yeah, I don't care that it got canceled. I don't care. These guys, they don't care. Real actors don't give a shit. It's a
lot of money. Yeah.
It's a job. They pay their bills, which is why I don't. If you just come out for the promotional stuff and say the generic bullshit, I'm not going to give you shit. But if you're Amandla Stenberg and you come out and you make all this stuff, if you're Moses Ingram and you say the stupid shit, I'm gonna reply because you made me reply by making it an issue.
Yeah, you opened the door.
Yeah,
like Daisy Ridley. Like we said, we've never said anything bad about her on a personal level. I mean, her acting, but that's professional.
Yeah,
and we've never,
Adam Driver. Have we ever said anything bad about Adam Driver?
Not from his personal life. No.
Have we ever said anything bad about Oscar Isaacs? No. Now, we've said something about John Boyega because John Boyega is a bit of a lunatic.
Yeah, when you run your mouth, people are allowed to criticize you for it.
Yeah.
If you don't run your mouth and you're just collecting a paycheck, I can at least respect that. Oscar Isaac has made it clear that, that's all it was for him, especially in the later films. I love during the press tour for Rise of Skywalker when he was asked if he would come back to reprise the role for a Disney Plus show, and he just said no immediately and emphatically without clarification.
Yeah. And most famously, Kelly Marie Tran. Nobody ever said a bad word about her. That is a fake story. It's a fake story. So unless you open your mouth and behave badly towards fans, we're only going to criticize a fictional character. But that's the problem. That is the problem. In likely a month from now, when I criticize Skeleton Crew, because I'm likely going to be very critical of it, probably in a very jokingly manner, but very critical, and I criticize the characters, I'm going to get maybe heat from some stands. How dare you say that about these kids? And I'll say, wait a minute. Let's say the version of this is that I heavily criticize the character. And I don't really say much about the child actor. I'm talking about a fictional character. But these weirdos, They cannot separate fiction from reality. They think the character is the actual person. And they'll say, how dare you attack these children? And I'm going to say, I attacked a fictional character for being stupid. I didn't say anything about insert name of actor or actress. Learn the difference. But they don't learn this because they're demented. So that is the problem here. These people are they're detached from reality. They're detached from their reality when they think that, oh my God, Disney's doing this. Oh my God. No, you brought them to this. And now you're unhappy that they're not listening to you. That maybe, just maybe, they're going to delay something because it's not working.
Got to reap what they sowed.
Yeah. You made your shit bed, now you got to lie in it. Very simple concept.
This is why these people are so obsessed about seeing themselves in roles, because, like you said, they can't separate fiction from reality. So they feel more connected to it if they see themselves on screen. And it's a very narcissistic way to look at the world, but it's also entirely unhealthy on so many levels.
It's not. It really isn't healthy. And it's unhealthy because we're going to get into this a little bit with the AI discussion, but they wrap ideology into all of this.
Of course.
I am seeing a lot of these particular stands, and you'll see a couple of them in the segment in the last segment of the show. One of the ones I really despise right now. They instantly make it political. They instantly make it ideological. They instantly associate, you disagree with what I'm saying, you must be this. You must be this side of the political argument. I try to keep my politics out of everything I do as much as possible.
As you should.
I mean, this is not a political channel, even though I may be in a couple of weeks participating in a joint stream, but that's because I've been asked to help out, and also because it's also going to be mostly a chill stream, and that's a lot of us.
It's cordoned off, though.
Yeah, and it'll say in the title, and I'll likely unlist the stream when it's done, because I'm not going to leave it up because it's an in the moment thing. But I've also been asked to help out and join the conversation. But I don't want my politics to influence what I do. Now, do I want to use political themes? Yes, because naturally that's a part of life. We will their political themes work into storytelling. That's normal. But
yeah, themes has never been a problem, especially when they're more a social commentary, the way that classic Star Trek did it, that William Shatner talks about all the time. Current day politics are a completely different discussion, but like you said, they have to ingrain their ideology, their politicism into every action that they do and every story that they consume. Because they consume it, they don't interact with it.
No,
and that's why we're seeing people like Stephen King and Mark Hamill go after the Washington Post, just as a side. Just for being neutral. The Washington Post said we're not endorsing a candidate, which I don't think any news agency in the world should endorse a candidate. Being neutral is demonic to these people. So just like you're saying, trying to stay out of it, you must be the enemy. Being neutral means you're the enemy. And that's the mentality. That's why they're so divisive, so violent against people.
You say it has to make them, they have to make these things a part of themselves all the time. It's because they need to justify their existence. And they get weird about it. I mean, I bookmarked this for not exactly this conversation, but I'll use it right now. The favorite term that I know you love: screaming and crying and throwing up.
Why are you always vomiting? Go see a doctor.
But why reply like this? Why talk like this? I mean, this is of some High Republic arc book that got released this week, and I actually did a thing that got a bunch of the stands angry. If you are following me on Twitter, I did a thing where they're like, "We're so back," and I replied, "How can you be back when nobody buys the High Republic?" And listen, nobody does.
Yeah,
nobody does.
It's selling horrifically bad. But they keep saying that we're so back. I see that in a lot of these different franchises from the same people who've never admitted there was a problem to begin with, that said we were crazy to think that there was anything wrong. How are you back if you were never gone in your own admission? That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So they're they behave like this. They behave like these not even childish, not even children. They behave weird. This is disturbing behavior. Why are you break it down for them? Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? Why are you crying? And then throwing up makes no sense. Throwing up is one of the most uncomfortable experiences one can have.
Why is it associated with good things for you?
I mean,
I think some of these people should be institutionalized, like not being able to tell
bring
reality.
Back institutions. Bring
Absolutely. But not being able to tell reality from fiction and fantasy is a primary symptom of crazy diagnoses like psychosis.
Yeah.
Like these are serious mental illnesses that these people are displaying symptoms of.
Mm-hmm. And the problem is this: they think they're normal because they associate. And let's be honest, Elon has cleaned up X massively.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit Wild Westy again, and I'm evidence of that. That I haven't gotten sanctioned for some of the shit I say to try and stir shit up. Because remember, I exist on X for 3 reasons: to promote my stuff, to promote my friend's stuff, and to be a shit stirring troll on stands. That's it. That's all I do. And all right, shit on Dermy. 4 things: shit on Dermy whenever possible. Yeah. But they exist on this to justify their lives and their weird obsessions. And they think, even though they complain about Elon, and these people do complain about Elon, they are still here in their weirdo circles thinking that they're the majority. They are the minority. And as I said, I got into a thing where I called somebody out for saying we're back. And then he responds to me, "Damn, who hurt you, bro?" And, I did a me. And I said, "Nobody hurt me. Those were sounds of pleasure with your mom," because that's how I respond to these things. But then apparently, because this person has more traction than I do, I have very little traction on Twitter, and they're all commenting. I have another one here because I'll just go back to it here. It's one of the newer ones here. Ignore my other stuff. They replied to me. Where is it? Here it is. This guy replied. Oh, that's not it. Here it is. I think that's it.
Maybe. Yeah.
No. That's the new one. Where's I replied to a different one. Where is it? I think I might have gone by it. Here it is. Sorry, there it is. Sorry. It didn't have the picture there. That's why. Hey, all I do is troll. They all look the same to me. He says to me, "MFers keep saying the High Republic is a failure as if it doesn't have multiple New York Times best-selling books. High Republic is objectively a success. If it didn't make money, they wouldn't be publishing them anymore." Jed, as somebody who pays attention to the literary world like me, the New York Times is a pay-to-play now on bestseller list.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. There's some wild stuff no one's ever heard of that is always on that list. The New York Times bestseller list is irrelevant nowadays. Yeah. I've seen so many nonsensical, horrible books on that list. And yeah, books, it's not difficult to necessarily recoup if you're printing as you go, which is what I imagine that the Star Wars has to do, because from what I've heard, the delivery time is exceptionally long for online orders, and then bookstores do small orders or whatnot. So yeah, they might be making money, but like $10 at a time. So yeah, they're breaking even. It's not, but Disney is known for continually making products that don't make money and doing more of the same thing anyway. So Disney doesn't give a shit if these books aren't making money. So yeah, they're going to publish for a while anyway.
I mean, when the New Jedi Order was literally best-selling, when Star Wars was best, this is over 20 years ago now. This is 20 years ago, easy. That was best-selling when it mattered. Every a hardcover Star Wars book came out, it raced up the charts because everybody went out and bought it. It was great. Now that doesn't happen. These things, I know that Drunk 3PO has these numbers. I wish I knew where he got them because I'd love to bring them up when I can, but I can only go by the old articles from like Substack and stuff like that. These things sell less than 10,000 copies at a pop.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Current ones. When it first started, it had 100,000 plus copies, which is legitimate, but that was morbid curiosity for a lot of people. And now in its phase 3, the High Republic doesn't sell. The comics never chart. They never chart. The merch doesn't sell. The chip merch, like I showed, I'll scroll up. This is a creepy stand collection of fucking Funko Pops and other trash merch, but they say that's my collection. It's all Disney Star Wars garbage. High Republic, Bad Batch, Acolyte. It's all garbage. Nobody really wants this shit. This isn't real. Jet,
why are they never fans of the original?
You're a real collector of stuff. We could see it behind you. I don't have my collections anymore. I've lost them, so I just show off my media.
Mm-hmm.
This is not what a real collection looks like, is it?
No, Funko Pops are fake fan toys,
Yes.
and I even if they had the entire original trilogy cast in Funko Pop, I would still make fun of them because they're worth nothing. Funko Pops are garbage. I have 2 because they were gifts. I have a little 10th or 11th Doctor right here, and another one somewhere else. They're garbage toys that I would never spend my money on. So the fact that 90% of his stuff right there are Funko Pops really shows you that he's Gen Zer crap that knows nothing about Star Wars. And then, I don't even see original trilogy on there necessarily.
I see a Vader. Here's a Vader right here. There's an Anakin over. Here's Vader and Anakin shelf. But the rest of it, that is as close as you get. Oh, here's some original trilogy stuff. There's a Luke, a Leia, and a Chewie, and an R2.
I see a lot of Bad Batch.
But it's all Funko Pops, like you said. This isn't real. And also, I mean, how much are Funko Pops? I don't even know how much are these things. I don't know. I've never bought one.
I've never bought one for myself, but I think they're like, depending on the store, like $15 to $30.
That's expensive for a stupid little thing like that. Wow,
they're more expensive than you'd think. Let me look it up.
All right, but they're still cheap as fuck. These are not high quality products.
Well, you see this person. Funko Pops were being thrown into a landfill last year.
Yeah,
were they Disney Star Wars ones? I think they wouldn't sell, so they
I mean,
so between $12 and $20 is the average.
Okay, that's right. Now they do have some Black Series things, which are actually quality things, but they're all Acolyte. It's one of the few people who bought this stuff. So these are the people who they get involved. These are the people who we talk about are detached from reality and think that Disney's doing great. To say the High Republic is objectively a success, we have little evidence how it isn't.
And that's why I want the Rey movie to come out, because those are going to be hard, irrefutable numbers.
Taking us back to the original point of all of this discussion, despite the fact that I'm 50-50, despite the fact that you're leaning towards more, it's not going to make out, we wanted to come out.
Absolutely.
I want this. I mean, I want Rey movie because Rey movie will cost another $300 million and it won't break even. They say the James Mangold movie is about to start shooting. I kind of find that hard to believe, but then again, I have very little respect for James Mangold. He's a crybaby.
He makes one good, decent movie, and everyone's stuck in his toes, like Dre would say, for the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, people like Ford versus Ferrari. Great. What else have you done?
Logan and Ford versus Ferrari are the only good things I've ever heard come out of James Mangold.
I don't care about Logan. And Deadpool and Wolverine kind of shat all over it. So hey, what's it worth now? These movies aren't going to mean anything. They're not going to mean anything. They're not going to connect to anybody. They're going to fail and fall apart. And we want it to happen because, like you just said, the hard numbers, box office numbers, can't hide that. Cannot hide that. The stands aren't going to come out for the Mando Grogu movie, and the rest of the world ain't going to come out for the Rey movie. And I guarantee no one cares about Dawn of the Jedi. No one cares.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that's Crybaby Mangold's movie, Dawn of the Jedi. I mean, giving him the keys to another franchise after Dial-Up of Destiny, man, that's brave. That's brave. That thing lost hundreds of millions of dollars. They said, only lost $120 million. No, that thing lost at least $300 million.
There's a lot of failing upwards in this industry, though. Like Shang-Chi getting Spider-Man. Shutigawa getting a Netflix show with Tomb Raider Season 2. I guess that's not necessarily an upgrade, but still getting work is an upgrade for him.
Getting work at all is a thing.
Yeah, is more than he deserves.
Well, like we talked about last week, he's in trouble. So he's got to try.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to try and find work. because he's not good at what he does. So this thing right here, yeah. So we want the movies to come up. I want the Ray movie. God damn, do I want that Ray movie? I want it to just happen and be joyous and crap. That's content for days, weeks, months, even. But that's years away. And maybe, you know what? Actually, my hope is that by then I don't need to cover this shit anymore. That's my hope.
Yeah.
That I've moved to a point on the channel and with my life, with my other hopeful ventures, that I don't need to cover this shit anymore. That I could comment on it, but I'm not hanging my hat waiting for it to happen. That's my hope. I really do. And if I'm not, well, God help me in 2027. God help me. You guys can help me by subscribing, by watching stuff, by helping the channel grow. You can help me. All right. All seriousness, this is a disaster. And we're going to talk about it even more. Before that, though, Malcolm the Strong, for nearly 2 years as a member of the channel.
Wow.
Damn, Algram. Thank you, my friend. At Renaissance Nerd, hail, meat and potatoes love, and most haughty heralds and hails for a certain next commander-in-chief sauntering into a cheering Michigan rally to the Undertaker's theme. That was cool shit. Smiley face, swords, shield, and cheer. Thank you, my friend Algram. And also thank you, as always, for helping out with the channel. Your support is never underappreciated at all. And to all of you guys, I love all of you in the chat. You guys are great. Thank you all for helping the channel grow. And I'm going to say this. I want to try and make that push to 5,000. I mean, I'm close. I'm close to 3,800, but 5,000. That's 1,200. We're 1,200. We're essentially 1,200 away from 5,000. 5,000. Things will happen. We get to 5,000. That's enough of a threshold that I think enough of you hang around that we can try and make some stuff happen. We can try and take it to the next stage. So your help, all of you, is appreciated. So you are the engine. You are the engine which moved this channel. So I thank all of you, and let's just keep it going. We're real close. Let's keep going. But you know what isn't going right now? Well, you know what might be going. Let's change that. I have to decide what might be going. Is that... All right, Jed, we like God of War.
We do.
We like God of War. And last week, we did talk about the fact that they had fired Rafe Poo Judkins. They fired him. There's no he just walked off. He ain't walking off again.
At the time, I thought was the best news we would get out of this TV show in its entirety. That I thought was, all right, this is the best news that we're ever going to get out of this. Still probably going to be bad, but this is the peak for God of War news, firing Rafe Judkins. I was wrong.
Yeah, because I didn't think we'd get news right away.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because I mentioned at the beginning of the show, nobody's talking about this.
It's really weird because, God of War is incredibly successful. Ragnarok only came out a little over a year ago now, maybe a year and a half, and it did exceptionally well. This should be pretty relevant, but it's not.
The DLC, everybody loved the DLC that tied it all
Valhalla was fantastic.
Yeah, everybody had a great time with that, and you would think. Now, some people who are in the know that know what Rafe Judkins is, the guy who butchered and destroyed the Wheel of Time live action, just annihilated, made it horrible. They know that was a big thing. But this kind of when it happened, blew under. And then this week, we got another story. And I am really surprised some of the more hardcore nerds, people who like Star Trek, people who like the Battlestar Galactica reboot, were not all over this with the fact that Amazon Studios went out and have hired Ron D. Moore as head writer and showrunner for God of War TV. Jed, you like Star Trek?
I do. I love Star Trek and all of its variations up until 2005. That was the end of the franchise, and it was a pretty decent end.
Ronald D. Moore kind of became one of the best writers on Next Generation. Not every script's great, but he was pretty much the standout as the years went on. Went on to make DS9 fantastic, and then went on to do his own thing with the Battlestar Galactica reboot. Now, I have said many
very
times,
popular.
I am not the biggest fan of it. It kind of wore thin on me pretty quickly. It got a little too meta, but that doesn't. I can be objective and say, well-produced show, well-acted show, well-constructed show, and it's beloved. I just didn't like where it went in the end. I found it kind of.
I've tried to watch the pilot episode that's like 2 hours long a couple times, but I haven't made it through yet. I do intend to watch Battlestar Galactica, the reboot, but I haven't pulled it off yet. I'm having too much fun with Stargate.
Yes. Where are you? Just
I'm like halfway through season 4.
I love season 4. That first half of season 4 is banger, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well, it's really good right now. I love the finale to season 3 with not dealing with the Goa'uld as the main villains.
Welcome to Replicatorville, baby.
I like getting more into the Asgard side of things because the Goa'uld, I have issues with them, and so it was a nice breath of fresh air.
Well, Replicators, basically Stargate's version of the Borg. Except even more mindless for a while. So yeah, Replicators, fantastic. So yeah, that's season 4 is one of my favorite seasons. It's like it's up there. I love that first half of season 4. That's different discussion for time. But Ron D. Moore made Battlestar Galactica successful. Now he's done other stuff that maybe hasn't been as successful, but Ron D. Moore is a safe bet of quality. I think that's a fair thing to say.
I mean, some of his newer stuff, like they mentioned in the chat, for All Mankind isn't good. For All Mankind, I believe is that the alternate history where the moon landing was faked?
I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't paid attention to that.
Yeah, that I've never heard a single good thing about. So, of course, there's going to be bad things, but Outlander was incredibly popular. Star Trek, like he's got good stuff, whereas someone like Rafe Judkins, I don't think has any good stuff.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he has a track record. He has quality under his belt, and he's a known entity. And also, the thing is, he's a guy who controls his own show. He doesn't. Nobody tells Ron D. Moore what to do at this point. So, the fact that he's taking over God of War, does this mean it's going to be great? Not by any stretch of the imagination, not exactly. But it's a chance. The chance has risen. Because in all the likelihood, because now let's go back to look at Star Trek. Because he worked on Star Trek, he worked with Gene Roddenberry, because Gene Roddenberry was still alive when he started working on the show in season 3. He knows how to respect somebody else's work, lore. I feel safe thinking, not saying, at least thinking, that they're going to start with the first game now.
If they announce that, I will be ready to watch it day one and excited. I still will have my reservations and be pretty sure Amazon Prime might ruin it, but I'll at least have hope. And yeah, that'll be the last thing to get me invested enough to look forward to the show coming out. Doing the Greek games.
I have faith in him is the thing. That's and I know that's a strange thing to hear from me, but I do have faith because of his past. Current day, I don't watch any of that, so I cannot comment on it. Although I did watch the first season of Outlander, and I tuned out when the dude was going to get raped by the British dude in the prison. I was like, I can't handle that. Like, I'm out. I can't deal with that. I'm done. Sorry. I am not comfortable enough to watch that. Nope. I noped out. And that show really is made for women. It's not really made for dudes.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But that was a period of time where I was just kind of watching anything. I was really bored a lot. And I'm like, oh, time travel. Sure. Whatever. This chick's kind of attractive. Let's see where this goes. And like I said, that final episode couldn't do it. I noped out, never went back. But he has my faith as the guy who worked and made some of the best Star Trek in history. So I'm ready to give Ron D. Moore a chance to give me a good God of War TV series. And like you said, if we hear we're going to adapt the first game, okay, we'll be there. Now that since they announced him so quickly, I feel like there's a chance we could get this by early 2026.
He knows how to make television, and he knows how to make it quick. Because TNG, all the Star Trek shows, they were consistent. A season missed that. So he knows how this should work and can hopefully get them on a normal schedule. I don't need another show that has 5 years between each season or more, or 3. But still, the gap between seasons is ridiculous. The gap to start a show is ridiculous. That any hype for it has died out, even if it's in a show people are looking forward to and have hope for. So yeah, I hope this is coming out spring 2026.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Yep. And we'll be there. This is something I would actually watch it. Now it's Amazon, so let's just look to what's going to happen. They'd probably do at least a double episode premiere, but then go to weekly because that's their pattern. Drop a couple for.
And I think that's a good balance for it. I'm okay with that. Doing 2 at once.
2 would be fine. It's the 3 that just makes me go.
Yeah, 3 is too much.
Now here's the thing, though. If we talked about this last week, if they do God of War first game, and now I feel more comfortable talking about this, I think Ron D. Moore is smart enough to say, you know what, I can get 6 episodes out of this. That's about all I can get. We're gonna get.
Yeah, the first one doesn't have a whole lot of breadth to it.
Yeah, we'll get 6 episodes, and let's just get it out. Be quick and easy, and you'll enjoy it. And I think it'll be good. And the thing is, we look what he does. He knows how to write characters. He knows how to do action. So let's see where we go. Now, of course, we'd have to see who the directors are and stuff like that.
Who they cast is. That'll be a big. Who they cast as Kratos.
Yeah. Then, just cast a decent Chad MFer, and we'll be fine. That's all you got to do.
Well, we need someone with range, though, because at the beginning, it's not going to matter if he's a good actor in the first couple seasons, as long as he can scream and seem angry. If he's got that one note, he's good for the Greek games. But once you get to the Norse in the later seasons, you're going to need someone with more nuance, with more capacity for an in-depth performance. So you got to have that in mind in this casting.
Yeah,
someone who can do both. And I think Christopher Judd could have done both back in the day.
He could have. Like 15 years ago, Chris Judge would have nailed it.
And it wouldn't have mattered so much of a race swap. I do think Kratos being race swapped is a little bit different conversation than a lot of the
covered in white.
Exactly. So as long as the look is right, as long as they nail that, they can do different things with the single flashback where he kills his family. I think you could pull something off. And I prefer an actual Greek person if possible, but Kratos, he gets away with it a little bit because of
he's beyond it at this point is the thing. And the fact that he literally is painted ash white.
Yeah.
That's
I do want the gods to be accurate though.
No Percy Jackson live action or TV show bullshit where they just race gender swapped everything, whatever. But all right, so I have faith in this at the moment. I have a chance. I have faith in, well, let me rephrase that. I've said it. I have faith in Ron D. Moore to give me quality television. So it's a wait and see now. I wouldn't be surprised if, beginning of next year, we start hearing casting. I wouldn't be surprised because I like you said, I think he's going to want to ramp up production and get into this by the middle of next year. Just because he'll crank out scripts easy.
Yeah, a real writer can crank out scripts.
He's a professional. He's a professional.
He has to get shows out in once a year.
Like you said, he knows how this. They've hired a real television writer, not a movie moron or a fake like Rafe Judkins, who is a fake. Rafe Judkins is a complete and total fake, just like J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay with Rings of Power. These are fakes. They don't know what they're doing. Ron D. Moore knows what he's doing. So we'll see what happens. I look forward to seeing how this evolves. I look forward to it. And I know that's weird to actually look forward to some news on something, not dread it. Not completely dread it.
Well, even Ragnarok, I was dreading a little bit when that game was coming out. I wasn't sure because we already knew, I believe, that Sweet Baby Inc. was involved. And there were red flags like Angry Boda's race swaps. So I was worried. But when it came out, I was blown away with it. Absolutely adored it. So I don't know what to expect, but I have hope as well. And faith.
I still haven't finished the epilogue.
Really?
Well, I'm trying to beat Berserker King on hardest mode, and I just can't do it. I just can't beat that MFer, and I don't want to insult myself by lowering the difficulty mode just to beat him.
Yeah. Well, so there's other stuff to do, level you up a little bit.
Well, I'm kind of max.
You're gonna fight. There's another Valkyrie in the epilogue that is more difficult than all the Berserker Kings, and that one you have to go back to Muspelheim for that one. She's just waiting there for you. That one is intense. It's a great fight though. I loved it.
Man, I it's gonna be a while before I go back and try again. It will be a while because I don't. That means I'm not even near the DLC. So
the DLC isn't long. Like it's I don't know what it's kind of like Muspelheim where it's levels and you're trying to progress different challenges.
Yeah, I'll go back at some point. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's not high on my priority list. I have backlogs. I have how I'm running gaming right now is a different thing at the moment. But I guess we'll talk about this. We'll mention it now because it was part of the week, and we can lead it into other stuff. What is there much to say about it? That hasn't already been said though. Blade has been canceled. It's been canceled. Can we say that?
Yeah, I 100% believe that. Mahershala Ali, he seems to care about the role enough that I don't have anything against him, but he's been pushing back on this nonsense for a while. And someone pointed this out to me. I didn't realize it. He's only 12 years younger than Wesley Snipes is right now.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah.
So if you're already getting old Blade, just use the real Blade.
Yeah.
He's clearly shown he's willing to come back, get a good writer, get Guillermo del Toro to come back.
Yeah. And it was directed by Guillermo del Toro. I mean, I did watch Blade 2 last night. I did fulfill my promise to do that. I went and watched it last night. And God, who wrote it though? Shit. Directed it, and it was God, I forgot who wrote it already. But a good writer who, he has hits and misses, but it was a good writer. So yeah, just come back. We pretend Blade Trinity didn't happen. You can pretend Deadpool Wolverine didn't happen. Just give us Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Yeah, but Deadpool and Wolverine is kind of its own thing to begin with. So yeah, just follow off Blade 2. Decanonize Trinity.
Yeah, it's not hard. Everybody hated it. I've never met anybody that liked Blade Trinity. Not really. Not really. I mean, it's just bad.
Have it called Blade the Real Trinity.
I would just. I'm not good at naming movies, but I just
call it Blade 3.
Yeah, I mean they called it Blade 2. Remember when they used to just have a number for a sequel?
So it was simple.
Didn't have to have a subtitle, a subtitle name. You didn't have to.
I do like subtitles for certain things. Some things make more sense to keep it simple. Like I love the naming convention of the Captain America trilogy.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. But let's go back to giving things numbers. I'm okay with that. I'd be fine with that. So it's canceled. There's not much more to really say about it. I don't really want to dwell on it. Yeah. I said all I wanted to say.
Go back and watch the original like we did last night. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. So I think it's canceled. I think Mahershala Ali has other projects lined up that he's going to move on to that are actually going to, reach completion. I mean, the fact that and I don't think we're ever going to hear it's canceled. They're going to do the Disney. We're going to put it on the shelf and hope you forget about it.
Yep.
That's what's going to
happen. Try to quietly cancel it in a few years.
Yeah. So that's all I really want to say about that. There's not much more to say. And since it happened, it's been talked to death already. All right. So, all right. We have no choice. We're going to go to the final topic here.
I do want to add real fast. Okay, if Amazon casts someone like John Cena or The Rock as Kratos, I'm out immediately. Just someone wrestling or bodybuilding as their start. Dave Bautista couldn't do it either, especially now where he's super, effeminate.
Piece of.
But yeah, I want someone who's a real actor who bulks up. I think it's better to go that direction for Kratos because you need that nuance, that experience.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a super ripped dude. It just has to be mid-range muscular. You don't need
the Norse one. I think is more ripped than the Greek one.
Well, he's older at that point. That's
now we often get made fun of in this sphere for loving this man for every role possible. I'm a little bit more critical on. I know
exactly. He hasn't pre-done this. I know exactly what he's going to say. Go.
What do you think about Henry Cavill in the role?
No.
Thank you. I'm with you.
No. He's already going to be the new Highlander. He's already being lined up for, I think we talked about it, for something else, possibly. We don't need him in everything.
Yeah, we don't need him in everything. And there's roles he just isn't right for. I think he would, put a lot of love and care into the story, which is absolutely something that you need out of any protagonist, just like he did with The Witcher. But I'm in the minority thinking that he was bad casting for The Witcher to begin with. Like, yes, he cares, and that is very important. But he's not Geralt, and that's mainly physicality. And I just don't think it would work.
And I mean, now things I want to say, like I'd like it if he was in the running for like a new James Bond, if they're going to go back to basics.
Perfect for James Bond.
That'd be great. I mean, he's a Brit, so hey, it works. Maybe he would have to trim, not trim down necessarily, but lean down a little bit. Doesn't need to be so buff for Bond.
He needed to lean down for Geralt as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, they wanted Thirst Trap. They wanted to go Thirst Trap for that one. But it's
Christian Bale.
No. What? No.
Not even Christian Bale at his prime.
No, yeah. Bale is not like that. And Cavill does, when he goes into genre stuff, it's stuff that he likes and he's into. And I've never heard him talk about being into God of War. So, so it's what I said when they were casting for Superman, and I honestly have nothing to say about Corn Swallow, wherever the hell the dude is who's playing Superman. I have nothing to say about him. I go unknown. These are opportunities where you can go young and unknown, and if somebody's really good, give them a jumping off point to starting a career. Because it's Kratos, it's God of War. All he's had has been voice acting, and there's no definitive real version of him.
Yeah, you have a lot of freedom, and if you're worried about a big name drawing you in, do the same thing that older projects did. The supporting cast you get big names for.
Just don't make him Asian. Just don't make him Asian.
That would be wild.
That's the only limitation on Kratos. You could put anybody else in there because he's going to be covered in makeup. It doesn't matter if he's black, white, Latino. Doesn't matter. But don't make him Asian.
His voice needs to be good, though. Like, he can't have a thick Hispanic accent.
Well, listen, not all Latinos have a thick Hispanic accent.
Right. I'm just saying, accent, I think, matters more than race at this point for him.
And you know what? They got to look good bald. Got to be able to rock the bald.
That's going to be important. The bigger casting would be Ares. I think that's when you'd get, fan casting.
That you hit it right on those. If you're gonna, you said a second ago, if you're gonna throw in a big name, throw it in for somebody to draw attention. Then, cast somebody really hot as Athena. Cast somebody really badass as Ares. Do something like that. Then you get everybody's attention with that. But Kratos doesn't need to be a big name. No, because people are already there to see Kratos be the God of War. That's what they're there to see.
I would bring Christopher Judd into cameo as someone. Like, I think he'd make a really good Kronos. I think that would be a good role for him. Yeah, but that's where the excitement comes from.
Carrying around the temple. Yeah, that's be most CGI. So yeah. Real quick, Jay Fraser 360 for £5 Hail Roundtable. Are either of you interested in playing Silent Hill 2 remake? It's faithful and fantastic redo. Also, hopefully, Ron D. Moore, only race swaps, anger boat. Well, returns it. I don't play horror games. It's just not something I've ever been into. I've watched a couple people play it in real life and been in college in a room when people were playing Resident Evil 1 of all things. Yeah, I'm old. Shut up. And so I'm not really into it. So no, I am not interested in playing Silent Hill 2. Jet?
I've never played a Silent Hill game. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'd be interested to look into it maybe when it's discounted to try a new franchise. But yeah, horror games just aren't, horror in general is just not something that's in my wheelhouse a lot, because I prefer, the deeper storytelling. So if that's what Silent Hill has, that's what will attract me to it more than it just being a horror game. So I just don't know enough about it to say one way or another.
I don't like being scared. I don't like being jump scared. I don't like being creepy scared. It's just not my thing. I'm not into horror.
It's not the scares that bother me. It's just horror is often used as an excuse to not do deep storytelling, like slashers and stuff like that. And there are great horror films out there. It is an incredibly difficult genre to get right with good, suspenseful horror more than jump scares. So I respect the genre entirely, but yeah, I don't like when people use that as an excuse to not worry about their characters or their writing or anything. So if Silent Hill doesn't do that, then that will pique my interest. But as of right now, I just don't know enough one way or another.
Yeah, so I'm glad that it's faithful, though. I'm glad Silent Hill 2 the remake is good, because sometimes you get remakes that are just poop and not good. So I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and I'm sorry to disappoint you that I'm not going to play that. That's not what we're into. But thank you, Jay Fraser, as always, for your support with the £5 British. Apparently, it isn't. It is standalone, so you don't need to do.
Okay.
You don't need the first game. Apparently, that's good. That's good. All right. We got one topic left. I guess Dre is not going to make it in time. And guys, he did warn us yesterday. He said I might not make it, so we're not. He didn't leave us high and dry. We knew he might not make it today. I was hoping he'd be here for this one, but we cannot leave it alone because it interested me. It's not real news that everybody's covering, but it interested me. It started with a tweet, and I'm actually the actual article here. So let's just look at the article. The Wrap. Disney poised to announce major AI initiative exclusive. Studio will focus on tech efforts in post-production VFX. Jed, that doesn't sound so bad, does it? That's just tool. AI is a tool to get you done.
This is nothing new. They've already been using it a lot. Like Secret Invasion had AI involved in its intros. So I'm surprised why people are reacting to this so much. It's a tool that can be misused, absolutely, but this is nothing new. Everyone's doing this. They're just being a little bit more quiet about it.
We saw them literally. I forget it was the end of last year, beginning of this year, when the AI thing was going on. I think it was just after the strikes last year. Disney put out a job listing hiring AI graphics design. We literally saw it with high-paying job, and we talked about this. I think saying. This is them trying to get in on a new production type of tool thing, and anybody who is smart enough to realize and go get the learning to understand and to use the new AI programs and assistants that are out there. There's an industry that you're now be a part of. You can get in and you can make some money, get a real job. That's a job, and it's just a job. So let's read this for a second, and then I want to show you some of our favorites reacting to this on Twitter. Stans. Walt Disney is poised to announce a major AI initiative that will transform its creative output. Individuals with knowledge told The Wrap on Thursday. The initiative is said to involve hundreds of people at the company and will primarily focus on post-production and visual effects. One of the individuals said it would also involve parks and experiences, but not customer-facing. So that, I guess that means programming and maintenance, I would assume.
All right.
I guess we need one of a more theme park oriented person to tell us how that might work, because you and I are
where you can use that.
That's way outside our wheelhouse. So we can only assume that. A Disney spokesman declined to comment for this story. The company insider told The Wrap that Disney was working on its own AI initiatives, but not as expansively as suggested by other sources. The insider said it was too early to say when the announcement was coming. The news was quickly traveling through tech circles and Wall Street, even with a few details immediately available. Disney follows Lionsgate, which struck a deal with AI company Runway in September to aid augmenting work in pre- and post-production process in films and television series. Okay, I'm going to ask you the question again, Jed. Does this sound threatening at all to you?
No, not at all. I mean, yeah, we expected at this point. This is nothing new. It'll be abused because it's Disney, but this isn't anything concrete. This is a rumor at this point. I would barely classify it as above rumor or a potential leak. So yeah, these Disney stands reacting to it like it's the end of the world is just more stupidity from them, unaware of the things that they're commenting on. I don't have any fear of this. It's not going to make Disney better, and it's hard to make Disney worse. So this doesn't affect my enjoyment of Disney or lack thereof. And it's just going to be par for the course for them.
Honestly, for me, this is harmless to me.
Entirely harmless.
It's literal tech work. It's not AI writing anything. It's not AI directing anything. It's not AI creating characters and making their weird digital movie thing. That's all this is. That's all this is.
And I don't have this fear of AI like some people. So the fact that they're using it isn't a red flag for me. It's a tool, like you said. It can be used well. It can be used poorly. And I think visual effects is one of the better places to use it. Like, I don't want them writing for a long time because they're just not ready for it yet. If you can ever get to the point where the technology is good enough, maybe. But yeah, the technology is not there yet. People are doomsdaying AI, acting like it's going to take over next week. It's more a fad at this point than anything. So it's not a threat.
Yeah. And this is innocuous to me. It's just work. It's simple work. And Disney aside, if people can go make a living on this, good for you, man. Make some money. Make some money, provide for your family. Good job. But as you said, what do you think the stand reaction to this is?
Flipping the fuck out. I've already seen some of it.
Yeah,
They're
all right.
losing their minds.
And they're losing their minds because they didn't take 2 seconds to go read the article. Here's one of my favorites. I despise this individual. First of all, because he's an anti-Semite bigot. This guy has said the most horrible things about Jewish people. So I despise this guy, Mace Owindu. He's a fake fan stan. His response, F off. Doesn't actually go read the article. It took us what just now? A minute. This is a couple of paragraphs. I mean, there's a little more about Bob Iger and stuff, but the actual meat of what it is right here. It's that's all there is.
It's nothing. The headline is very misleading. So yeah, they're just reacting to the headline and nothing else.
Exactly.
And I don't even know if this is legitimate.
Yeah, it's a rumor.
Some of these insiders are right, some of them aren't. You have to take everything with a grain of salt. So yeah, these people they don't care to do research. And you see that in everything that they do. They don't know anything about Star Wars. They don't know anything about these properties. It's all superficial. So this is the superficial reaction.
Yeah. And we get then our favorite wannabe thought, M. Kenobi. We like her. No, we don't. We are about to see the decline of one of the biggest companies ever created, and it's their own fault. Now, there are so many about it's been declining, and it's been declining. It's what we've been talking about this earlier. That's why earlier conversation relates to this. You, the wannabe thought, and everybody else who talks about this, you've led Disney to this point. You've led them to being desperate. You've led them to trying to, save money by maybe going the AI route, by doing stuff. Because you've supported them, you've made them bend the knee to your bullshit. So for them to say the decline, it's been declining and it's your fault. How about not reading the room, not seeing the forest through the trees, not understanding the reality. So, but they hate it. They hate it because they're afraid of AI. They think it's gonna take away from the glorious woke writing that's happening. And then there's this guy. This guy who shares a brain with Suggsy. This guy shares a brain with Suggs. If anything made by AI is created for Star Wars canon, I will wholly exclude it from my head canon and never give it any money. I will not discuss it. It will not be considered at all. I love this galaxy because of the sheer amount of artists who pour the towns into it. We just read the article. It says nothing about writing content for stories or franchises.
I want to ask this person. You said you're familiar with them. Did they defend Acolyte particularly or anything like that?
Oh, okay. This is a full-on. This is a guy who does work with Suggsy. This is a guy who actively supports the Daemons. Star Wars Explained. This is a guy who actively pretends to. This I called him originally. He's the collaborator. He's the guy who says, "I love all Star Wars. I love Legends. It's great. I'm reading it," but then uses every opportunity to tell you how great Disney Star Wars is and how much better it is.
Yeah.
And it says, everybody, it's okay. We can love everything. We need to welcome in Disney Star Wars as it destroys real Star Wars. He's the collaborator.
They can't coexist.
No, they cannot. But this guy is a complete piece of shit. Somehow his channel has like 10,000 subs, which blows my mind.
Baffling.
Well, actually, I looked into it. One, he does fake lore videos. It's like Disney lore, and people will watch it and then thinking it's real Star Wars. And also, he leans heavily into the shorts game. Heavy into the shorts game.
Well, for him, because you're saying he's an Acolyte defender, I want to ask him the question. Hey, if we found out that Disney used AI for the Acolyte, like we've known they've done in the past with Secret Invasion, they did something like that when the Acolyte, would that change your experience of the Acolyte? And would you start hating it, never watch it again, and boycott it like you're saying you would for any future product? I am certain the answer would be unequivocally
this guy,
no.
I've seen him. He's a word salad guy. And he's also he says a lot. He says something, but it has no meaning to it. And he likes to fluff his words, and he likes to pretend that he's being reasonable. When in fact, I've seen him repeatedly hop on the train of attacking the bigger channels. Jeremy, Gary, Drinker, Theory. He hops on that train immediately. And like I said, he sucks the dick of the Daemons. He just was. He was. Now he comes up in my feed because I troll him. He's one of the blocks I've been trying to get from. I've been trying to get a block from him as long as I was trying to get a block from Suggs. That's how long I've been trying to get the block from this guy. He was very proud that the Damons brought up his comment on their last live stream. Very proud that they answered his question. So that's who this guy is. But this is also a guy who will instantly make it political. Kind of crazy how many people consider AI a culture war issue, that they use it to fight the woke. Very strange to me that being pro artificially generated content has become a conservative trait. Wouldn't have called that 5-10 years ago. This guy just proved he didn't read the story. Again, he's just going. He's talking out of his ass, trying to look like some sort of promoter of real talent and real people.
I've heard just as many people who are out conservatives have concerns about AI and hate its involvement or its existence whatsoever. AI fear is not universal to any political leaning whatsoever. Everyone has inbuilt fears of AI because of Hollywood, because of movies like Terminator and iRobot. It's a completely normal thing. So yeah, to politicize it is asinine.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe in this specific situation, he assumes anyone who doesn't like Disney is conservative. So
they all do.
Like, yeah.
I mean, let me go back right here. Another one. Let me go back to the main here.
So it's just more assumptions that critical thinking people.
You saw it a little bit when I was showing before. Brooks, this guy, he's a real standout acolyte piece of shit. One woke teenager versus 20 Trump supporters.
What does that even mean?
Padme, when she was trying to call for a vote of no confidence. These people are warped ideologically. They think everything has to do with politics and world belief systems. They don't understand that something can just be fiction. Something can just be fiction and not have anything politically woven into it. That there's not a deeper meaning to it like that. It's damn near maddening. But these are broken individuals. Completely broken. And frankly, I look forward in the coming weeks, months, and years to watching them melt down more over various things, both in the near future and in the distant future. Because this is somebody who thinks that, and I've showed this Brooks guy, he thinks that you and I, if we see a black person or a brown person in a show, that we immediately have to run screaming into the fields, crying doomsday. That breaks us. As soon as we see a colored person, we're gonna cry and lose our shit.
Doesn't matter how many times we bring up evidence to the contrary. Favorite characters, Star Trek with Worf, Stargate with Teal'c. There's no amount of evidence that will ever convince these people that reality doesn't fit their fantasy of what their people who disagree with them are.
It's the same people that think that we're going to line up to attack gays and lesbians, that we're just waiting for a chance to do harm upon them because they have a different sexual preference than us. It's warped, and it all comes back to the fact that, like you said, they don't do research. He shows right here he didn't bother reading the article. She didn't bother reading the article. He didn't bother reading the article. None of them do their research. Their research is reading a tweet post. That's their research. Their research is their echo chamber. That's their research. They don't take the time to look at the full scope of everything. And then they will just compound it by saying, oh, it's all a part of, and let me go back here to that one. It's all ideological. It has to, you have to think differently for me. This thing has to be this way. It has to be ideologically driven. God help that you maybe have a research nuance opinion of something that maybe you like a little bit of each side. And I mean, like you, I have no major fear of AI. The closest AI fear I have is deep faking. When it comes to voice work, because that's the closest thing I have to AI fears right now. That they'll put a recording out there that sounds so damn close that you're going to need some sort of specialist to go in there and track the different wavelengths to say, oh no, this has the AI tag on it that you could see from the audio track and this and that. That's my biggest fear, deepfake audio. But other than that, I don't think that Elon's robots are going to start to rebel on us. I don't think Skynet's around the corner. And you think I would, because I do science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
You think I would?
I do as well.
Yeah.
But I at least research the technologies.
Mhm.
I know you're very familiar with the sci-fi concepts, and yeah, we understand that there's a difference and what's real and what's not.
Yeah, and Jeffrey's right. These are the people who tell us to go touch grass, to go out and stop pretending. These people who, as I said before, can't tell the difference between fiction and reality when we're criticizing characters.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people who constantly push fake news stories about all the stuff that happens in pop culture and that. They're the ones that hop on immediately and cling to it forever. So I'm tired, Jed. I'm tired of watching insane people. Don't mean I'm not going to cover it and I'm not going to comment on it like we did today, but it is tiring at this point because there's no saving their broken brains. There isn't.
There's diminishing returns in enjoying their insanity. You can only laugh at derangement so many times before the reality sinks in and you realize, oh my God, this is how the world is. This is how these people are. There's no saving them, like you said.
This is why I take breaks in my troll spurs. I take breaks in doing that. I'll go on a troll spree for like an hour because I've got nothing else to do. But then I'll shut it down for a couple of days because it does damage my brain a little bit having to look at these morons and understanding that they think they're the heroes in all this. They think they are riding around to save everybody. They think they're doing good deeds, that they're helping out people of color and help protect these kids and help save all these great franchises from the evil, toxic nerd chuds. It's tiring. And I'll be glad when the day comes that I don't have to cover them anymore. I'll do it because I do get some level of enjoyment shining a light. But like you said, it's diminishing returns and of tolerability. It's going to come to a point where it's like, man, I'm shifting gears and I'm now going to full ignore. And I'm never going to block these people. I'm never going to mute them because that shows that I'm weaker than they are. But I can, frankly, scroll past it and not stop. That I'm capable of doing. And I do it sometimes. These people are nuts. And it shows you, like you said, these are not people who bother to get the real story. They're just going to, oh my God, these are people who thought that the strike was about protecting jobs from artificial intelligence for writers. That's why they
really believe that story. Yeah.
That's why they do it. All right. One thing I will comment on this just because, Oscar, in all fairness, I don't know who you are. If you have a YouTube channel, if you are someone who makes content, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me an email, send me a DM, and I can bring you on a smaller show and see if we click. But this is our major panel show, so I cannot just send out the link to anybody. But if you are a YouTuber and make content, if you could reach out to me. That's how Dre reached out to me originally. He said, Adam, I like the cut of your jib. Would you like to collaborate? I went and checked out his channel, watched his content, said, I like what this guy's doing. I brought him on a different show. We had some conversations. He guested on here a couple of times, and then he became a regular panel member. That's how it works. If you are interested in working with us, send us some information. If you have a channel, we'll check you out. I'll give you a trial run on a less topic-oriented show where it's more free form, and that's how it goes. Because I'm always looking for new talent, man. Always looking for new talent. Always looking to work for new people. Always am. This is not a closed door situation, but there is a process. So so you are welcome to reach out to me. My DMs are open. My email, you can find it on the main page under the About Me on my main page. So that's how it works. And so there you go. All right, we're done. Jed, with just two of us, we made it.
We did.
We did it. Dre abandoned us, Jed. He abandoned us. He probably real shit to you. We know he had real shit to you.
Yeah.
No shit to Dre. All right, so we are done. I believe the event of the day is getting started, so we might as well wrap up anyway. We'll reach 2 hour mark anyway. We're good. Jed, what does your week look like?
Well, everyone can find me on YouTube and Kick at Hollywood Scholar, just regularly scheduled reviews and live streams, coming up with Saturday Night Drive-In this Saturday, which Adam will talk about.
And if Dre were here, I would say go check out Dre's channel, Brutal Planet Comics, and his gaming channel, DeBrute Plays, where he does fun Pokemon stuff, and he interviews indie comic creators, stuff like that. Check out his own personal website. He does great comic work. Dragon Lady was here. I'd say check out hers, where she's just basically reviewing old movies, playing The Sims for your enjoyment. And as for me, you guys know the spiel, but I'm getting into it anyway. Later tonight, Legatus is already promoting it. You will be directly sent. It's 3 hours. It's 4 hours away, but you're going to be sent there anyway. More Starship Troopers Extermination. Me, Alf, Kel's going to be playing. We might get more people tonight. We don't know. We're just having a good old fine time. Jed, those bugs gotta squish them. Gotta squish them.
Only good bug is the dead bug.
And it's fun. I'll tell you this real quick. I'll tell a quick story. So we have a couple of minutes. I was playing on, I think it was Friday night. Is it Thursday or Friday night? I've moved up to there's 3 levels. There's easy, normal, and hard. I'm playing in the normal range where it can still be pretty good challenge right now. At one point, we're on the planet Valaka, just one of the planets in there, and there's a global storyline going on where we keep pushing, pressure happens. We're in a point now where we're on these planets scanning for bugs. So our missions are to defend the ARC scanner as it scans the planet interior for hives. We go out, we collect resources, then we build our base and we defend the ARC thing. The bugs were assaulting in warrior waves so much at one point. They kept attacking the same point. They built a mound of dead bug corpses, and they were using that to climb up over our defenses. And I'm standing there, I'm like, we're all just standing there plugging away, and we're trying to, every time we try to clear out the corpses with grenades, they would just keep coming in more. It was insane. It was awesome. Last night, Alf put us into a game, and this was the first for me. He put us on a game. We were on the ice planet Boreas, and we're going about our business. We built the base was a bad build in the first place. The builders didn't do a good job. Suddenly, first time it happened, a tanker bug spawned. I hadn't fought a tanker bug yet. It had a full ass boss bar and everything. And part of the gameplay is Alf was out there, and so was Kel. I'm a sniper, so I'm as far back as I could possibly be. They were literally jumping on its back, shooting it in open wounds to damage it. And they were making it stun. I'm just shooting there, trying to ping it in the head. With my sniper rifle, because I'm using the big ass XXX Marita right now. It's like a basically big ass sniper rifle, and that thing, it was insane, the fight. And meanwhile, we have a horde at the same time rushing us while it's happening. It was nuts. Now we lost that. We botched it horribly because the mineral resources were in bumblefuck, and the extraction drop was terrible. We ran out of redeployment troops, and it was the defeat. It was terrible. It was a clusterfuck. I'm glad I wasn't streaming it, because if Goddess was there, he would have been pointing and laughing at me. It was extraction time. We had run out of reinforcements, and I was like, let's get the hell out. I'm running, and as a sniper, I have a booster ability, which I can fire a booster to either go up, or if I've jumped off a ledge, I can cushion my fall. So I kept running, and I knew it was going to be a ledge, but I didn't realize it was a chasm, and I just ran straight off this valley, and I had already used my booster. And even if I had survived, there was a grenadier bug, there was a pack of frost warriors down there and frost drones. I was dead no matter what, but I just dead, because I thought it was a shortcut straight line and I could just booster through it. It's good. The game is a lot of fun. It's just bugs, but it's different. Even though the levels are sometimes the same, you're not going to get that clip because I didn't record it. It ain't happening. You don't have that clip. I wasn't recording shit. You ain't getting that. It was completely on Alp's perspective last night on his stream. But even though the videos, a lot of the maps are the same right now, periodically, it's a different scenario every time. It's a different instance, because the bugs don't behave the same way. And it's great. And so it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Right now it's $50. It is cross-platform. PC, Xbox, PlayStation. We're having a great time. We have a company, the Ballbusters. We can have up to 30 people in there, and you can field 16 people all by yourself for a full unit for an instance. So it's a lot of fun. I have a great time. And I'm not normally into first-person shooters. And it is great that it's first-person shooter because you only see what's in front of you. I can't count the amount of times I think I'm doing fine, and then I get ganked from behind because bug comes up behind me. Just ganks my dumb ass. Anyway, so that is tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm streaming it, out streaming it. I don't know if anybody else is streaming it, so you can catch us at 8 p.m. Eastern. You'll be sent over there and we're done. Tomorrow is Mellow Mondays, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, where we'll try to have good old-fashioned nerd stuff. Me, Samuel, Devil. And then rest of the week is kind of catch as catch can. It's a very busy week. I will once again say I am not doing the Dragon Age Veilguard stream because I cannot spend the $70 right now in the first place. And also, if you watch my video from earlier in the week, what's the point? There's kind of no point. It's God of War. What's been described now as God of War. That's not a Dragon Age game. And I don't have the $70 anyway. So I apologize to those of you who I promised I'd play it and give you my take. I just don't have that $70 right now. It has to go someplace else. Rest of the week, Ballbusters, 11 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And then Thursday, I forgot. Thursday, it's Anime Odyssey month. Myself, Dermy, and Brandon the Anime Guy, we're watching Blood Blockade Battlefront Season 1. It's a good time. So join us 8:30 p.m. Eastern on my channel and Dermy's channel. And I will also announce this. I've been saying it. I'll announce it again. Keep going. In January, we're doing a special Anime Odyssey, a One Piece special, our first One Piece special. We're going to put a panel together. Going to try and have fun with that. More than just me and Dermy. Going to have a lot of stuff like that. It should be good. There'll be a cutoff point, so you'll have a certain requirement as to how far you've gotten to the series to watch. But it should be a lot of fun. It'll be one of many in future. And then Saturday, Jed and I are back, 6 p.m. Eastern, for a drive-in this week. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Couple days removed from Halloween, but there's a little spookiness in it, so I figured, why not? We'll do that. It'll be fun. Have a good time. Then we'll be right back here next Sunday for another roundtable. Listen, I don't know what we're going to get into next Sunday. We know what real-world events are for the following week. We'll see what happens. We'll try to provide you guys our own special brand of entertainment, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here. Hit those like buttons, subscribe to the channels, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy.